Mayor, you ready? Good evening. I'd like to welcome everybody to our council meeting tonight. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Before we get started, I wanted to make sure Councilman Davis is actually up in Bevel State. Daughter's graduating tonight, so he couldn't make it to our big meeting, so we wish him safe travels. I'd like to call the meeting to order. I'd like to start us in our prayer, and right from the prayer, we'll go right into the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand. Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Higginbotham, call roll, please.
President Logan.
Here.
Councilman Sullivan.
Here.
Councilman Davis. Councilman Hogg. Here. You have a quorum, Mr. President.
Thank you. Item 4, we have some special presentations. We'll get right to it. We have a oath of office process or swearing in ceremony. It's going to be led by the Honorable Hardy McCullum, probate judge of Tuscaloosa County.
Thank you, Mr. President. It's my privilege and honor to be able to swear in the U.S. council member. So, Councilman Rose, Wayne Rose, if you would step forward. Where's the rest of that family? Y'all all come up here. Every one of them. I want all of you up here.
Nettie wants to come up too. She's part of the family too. Tell her to come up.
Man, don't you love this? He's got enough votes right here. So if you would hold the Bible, and Wayne, place your left hand on the Bible, raise your right hand. There you go. I got you all turned around. Raise your right hand, please, and if you would repeat after me. I, Wayne Rose, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Alabama, and that I will observe the provisions of the ordinances of the City of Northport, and that I will faithfully and honestly discharge the duties of the office of Councilman, District 1, to the best of my ability. So help me God. Congratulations and thank you. All right, you need to ask him to take his seat.
Councilman Rose, please take your seat.
There you are, sir.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you so much. Right here. The mayor's office now has a swearing in of her own. She'll be assisted by Chief Burton.
discharge all duties required of me,
discharge all
duties,
duties required of me,
and in all cases,
and in all cases,
I will uphold and enforce
I will uphold and enforce
the criminal laws and Constitution
the criminal laws and Constitution
of the United States,
of the United States,
the state of
the
Alabama,
state of Alabama,
and the city of
and
Northport.
the city of Northport.
I furthermore do pledge
I furthermore do pledge
to obey the rules of governing
to obey the rules of governing
my agency and report all my motions
my agency and report all matters
of the same that may come to my knowledge.
of the same that may come to my knowledge.
I will not persecute innocent,
I will not persecute innocent,
nor help to shield the guilty from punishment.
nor help to shield the guilty from punishment.
Neither will I be influenced in the discharge of my duties
Neither will I be influenced in the discharge of my ability
by fear,
by fear,
promise of favor,
promise of favor,
or affection,
or affection,
or the hope or offer
or the hope of offer
of reward.
of reward.
In all my deeds,
In all my deeds,
I will be governed by the rules
I will be governed by the rules
set forth in this testament
set forth in this testament
of my dedication.
of my dedication.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Listen to the word.
Congratulations, Officer Hand. Welcome aboard.
At this time, I have a proclamation for our bicentennial, and I would ask that Mr. Godot and Ms. Dubose come forward to receive it. Whereas the United States Congress created the Alabama Territory from the eastern half of the Mississippi Territory on March the 3rd, 1817. And whereas by 1819, the birth and growth of cities, towns, and communities in the Alabama Territory ensured that the population of the territory had developed sufficiently to achieve the minimum number of inhabitants required by Congress to qualify for statehood. And whereas the United States Congress and President James Monroe approved separate statehood for the Alabama Territory on December 14, 1819, making it the nation's 22nd state. And whereas the Alabama Legislature approved a resolution in 2013 establishing the Alabama Bicentennial Commission to mark the 200th anniversary of statehood. And whereas the bicentennial period of reflection and commemoration, 2017 to 2019, will acknowledge the environment, both natural and constructed, including especially the cities, towns, and communities which compose the state. The people, regardless of race, culture, or background, and the state's history, both ancient and recent. And whereas commemorations and celebrations will enable and encourage Alabamians of all ages and backgrounds to gather with visitors to experience Alabama's rich cultural history, and natural resources, thereby stimulating the economy of Alabama through local economic growth. And whereas full participation and contributing efforts by the localities of the state through their various councils, committees, and congregations are paramount to the success of this historic endeavor. And whereas participation in Alabama's bicentennial is a unique opportunity to celebrate and uplift the state during this historical time. Now therefore be it hereby proclaimed that I, Donna Aaron, Mayor of Northport, that this action endorses the efforts of the Alabama Bicentennial Commission and hereby resolves to aid the Alabama Bicentennial Commission in promoting, planning, and executing the Commission's historic, educational, celebratory, and social initiatives by forming the Northport Bicentennial Committee to observe and commemorate the bicentennial of the state of Alabama. Thank you all for serving as chairman.
Item 5 is approval of our agenda. I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as printed. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Sullivan. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Mr. Higginbotham.
President Logan,
Yes.
Councilman Sullivan,
Yes.
Councilman Rose, Councilman Hogg. Motion carries, Mr. President.
Item 6 is visitors to address our city council. We have Mr. Rob Robertson, EMA Director, and also candidate for probate judge.
That's correct. On leave right now for candidate to probate judge. Thank you very much, Mr. President, members of the council, mayor, staff. Thank you for the time. I will be very brief, but I did want to come by and thank you for the work that we've done together in the past. I'm a true believer it takes a whole community to get things done. And as your probate judge, my full intent is to continue that tradition and working with people to solve the challenges and problems we have before us. I would like to let you know that as this tenure of Judge McCollum ends, after 42 years, we have a large decision in front of us. It's a critical decision, in my opinion, about how we want the future of Tuscaloosa County to look and what shape that should take. I would ask for your consideration and your support to be the next probate judge, but mainly I wanted you to know that you have my commitment to continue to work with the city of Northport, not only in the ways we have in the past, in my current role, but in the future, into a whole lot of new opportunities as Tuscaloosa County continues to grow. So I thank you for your time tonight, and I just appreciate your consideration. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rob. Our next citizen is Mr. Chris Houghton.
President Logan, Councilman, Mayor, thank y'all for letting me speak today. I just have a simple request. We have an ordinance governing tattoo shops in Northport that say the one part of the ordinance says we can move one time to a C6 zone. We are currently located in a C3 zone, and we want to buy a vacant building that's a block away from ourselves and reface it, make Northport look better like it does, like the things they've done across the bridge, which would be a great thing for our community and hopefully maybe would spark some people into taking their own buildings that they have and you know, fixing them up a little bit and showing that we all love this town and we want to be here. We've been in the location we're at now since September of '06, which is going on 12 years. I helped with this ordinance. I helped when the city did the audit on tattoo shops. I helped the state do the codes that the whole state goes by for, you know, what we do. And we could use more. And I would be willing at any time to sit down and talk with you guys and do some more. We worked with Scott and the city attorneys on the wording that we would like done, added to the moratorium for the tattoo shops. And it basically says, well, I mean, this is word for word, all tattoo parlors existing on the date of the original ordinance, which is July 8, 2013, will be allowed to move from its present location one time only to a new location in a C6 zone or in its current zone without compliance to density limits contained in the ordinance. Now, the density limits, we're already within the density limits of another tattoo shop, but by moving a block away or 2 blocks away, we actually strengthen the ordinance because we get further apart from that other shop, and the 3,000 feet of the density goes out into the city even further. And it makes it pretty much, if we were allowed to move, we would cover most between the shops here. I don't think that with the density limits, there another shop could ever come in Northport and open. It's just that simple. We wanted to buy the building we're in, but it got sold to someone else, and that was our plan originally, was to buy a building here in Northport. We own property in Northport. We live here, and we love the community. We want to live here for the rest of our lives. And if anybody has any questions on any of it, I'll be glad to sit down at any time and hash things over and work with the city in any way we can on signage or the face of the building, what y'all think would look good. I'm open to any suggestions.
Thank you,
That's
Chris.
it.
Just for clarification for the public, by code existing, Ron, you're allowed a one-time move
Yes,
exclusive of the density, but only in a C6, correct?
yes.
Okay.
Yes, we could move right now, according to the ordinance, into a C6 zone. The only issue is the building we want is in a C3.
And that's 2 blocks north.
It's 2 blocks north of our current location, where
Okay.
we've been since 2006.
All right, here's what we're gonna do, because we just got a new teammate on.
All right.
We're gonna have to, everybody, I guess, up here needs to kind of look and see exactly what the ordinance says
Mm-hmm.
and see how everybody feels about it. I do know, again, you're allowed a one-time move in a C6. However, that's looking at trying to change an ordinance, that's gonna have to take everybody looking at it and seeing if everybody's comfortable with it,
Yes, sir.
honestly.
And we talked to Scott, can give you a little more information on it. I talked to him extensively about this. He actually has the mapping to where it strengthens the ordinance with the circle that comes out from each location. And like I said, it actually will strengthen our ordinance that we have already on the books. And like I said, anything y'all need, just let me know.
Thank you, Chris.
Yes, sir.
Item 7A1 is unfinished business. It's a second reading of an ordinance declaring our sales tax holidays, back-to-school holiday, as we like to call it. Again, I'll make a motion to adopt that ordinance, amending those sections 66-78 and 66-79, establishing a sales tax and use holiday in the city. Again, this is, we always do it yearly, so this is a reoccurring item. So that's in the form of a motion. Is there a second? Second by Councilman Hogg. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Mr. Higginbotham.
President Logan,
Yes.
Councilman Hogg, Councilman Rose, Councilman Sullivan.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Second item is a second reading of an ordinance for the reduction of the corporate limits of the city, which is approximately 13 acres located between Carrollwood, Lakeview Drive, and Sleepy Valley Road. Mr. Stevens.
Yes, sir. This is a piece of property. It was annexed last year sometime. When the developer got into the design phase for some of the utilities, it just had some challenges that couldn't be worked out. So the request now is to, well, we say de-annex, what the code calls reduction of corporate limits, but take back out of the Northport city limits. We sent letters to all property owners and everyone who has an address on the voters roll in that location to notify them of the intent. This will now be the second reading. We'll have to do a little bit more process with the county probate office, but
Thank you. And by code as well, we'll have to open the floor for a public hearing, Ron, just so we can address the public based on code. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. At this time, I'll open the floor for a public hearing. So the floor is now open for any member of the public wishing to speak for or against the reduction in the Northport corporate limits of the city by approximately 13 acres. So the floor is now open for any citizen wishing to speak for or against. All right, hearing none, I hereby close the public hearing. I'll make a motion to adopt the ordinance asking to reduce the Northport corporate limits by approximately 13 acres located between Carrollwood, Lakeview Drive, and Sleepy Valley Road. Is there a second? Second by Councilman Hogg. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Mr. Higginbotham.
President Logan,
Yes.
Councilman Hogg,
Yes.
Councilman Rose, Councilman Sullivan.
Yes.
Motion carries, Mr. President.
Item 3 is a second reading of demolition of an unsafe structure located at 1313 20th Avenue. Mr. Stevens.
yes, so this is a property, I believe the former resident passed away and aired it to a number of people. The council saw it a few months back and voted to give a little bit of an extension because they thought they were getting a lot closer to being able to sell it, and that just hasn't happened yet. So this will be the second reading to actually go through with the demolition, and we do already have bids on it. So we have a contractor to go ahead and get that started.
All right. Again, because we're in the second reading of the particular ordinance request, we have to open the floor for a public hearing. Is that right, Ron?
Yes, sir.
All right. I hereby open the floor for a public hearing. Is there any member of the public wanted to speak for or against the ordering of the demolition of this unsafe structure? All right. Seeing none, hearing none, I hereby close the public hearing. I'll make a motion to adopt the ordinance ordering the demolition of an unsafe structure located at 1313 20th Avenue. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Sullivan. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Mr. Higginbotham.
President Logan,
Yes.
Councilman Sullivan,
Yes.
Councilman Rose,
Yes.
Councilman Hogg.
Yes.
Motion carries.
New business, 8A1 is a first reading of a permanent resolution authorizing the sale of the Hassan Center to Academics in Motion. Mr. Davis.
Yes, Mr. President, this is for first reading only. This is for the sale of the Hassan Community Center, the playground. It does not include the baseball field adjacent to the community center, to Academics in Motion. It's a not-for-profit corporation it's organized by Mr. Washington. The city had looked into this prior, and it was an estimated amount $30,000 to bring the matter up to code so it could be occupied. Mr. Washington's agreed to take on that responsibility, that he'll bring it up to code before it can be used by the public. The resolution is for first reading only. It would sell the property to Academics in Motion for $1,000. That money would be given back by the city as a donation to Academics in Motion if the certificate of occupancy is obtained by the end of this year, which, as I've indicated, would require a substantial amount of work. It will be operated only as a community center, could not be sold without the written consent of the city. And there's some other specifics in the proposed resolution. We've got to get an accurate legal description, and we'll have that. It'll be ready for a vote by the next council meeting. But tonight only would be for first reading. And I'll also call your attention later on in the evening at 8B6, there's a resolution allowing Academics in Motion access to the Hassan Center so they can get in and have access to see what they're doing. It would not be able to be used by the public until it was brought up to code, but it would go ahead and give them access to the building immediately. But that's not for vote right now. Right now it's first reading for this ordinance selling the Hassan Community Center and surrounding property to Academics in Motion.
All right, I'll offer that for a first reading. 8B1 is a resolution establishing Northport's Bicentennial Committee. Mr. Higginbotham.
Yes, sir. Tonight I am going to ask y'all to consider